about your past. I just want, baby, a love to last. I don't care, baby, about your bones.
Hello, 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 and welcome to the Carter 101 show. I'm your host, Coach Tina Lane, and I am going to be filling in for Mr. Michael Matthews today. Today in the studio, we have the awesome cosmetologist, hairstylist, makeup artist, guru here, and this is Miss Deborah Bailey. Welcome, Deborah Bailey.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, listen, everyone. I'm so excited to have her in the studio today, and I'm going to read some things about her so you'll know what she has accomplished thus far. If you ever heard the expression, pursue your passion, everything else will fall into place, then you know Deborah Bailey is the epitome of this notion. After finding herself jobless in a tough economy, she walked into the Sultry Scissors hair salon in West Orange, New Jersey, and asked her high school friend and salon owner Kimberly Givens for a job. From that point on, Deborah began to work part-time and weekend and quickly was recognized as a valued gem at the establishment. Her dedication and professionalism eventually led her to a full-time management at the salon. Deborah began to pursue and observe an apprentice under Kim and eventually enrolled in cosmetology school to pursue her passion. While studying for her license, she was asked to join the style team for such magazines as Hype Hair and Roman Kaiser Model Management Production. Deborah has also worked with the following projects: Glitter Magazine, Today's Black Men Wardrobe, and Today's Black Women Magazine. Deborah's impressive body of work includes personal styling for Mona Scott Young, the executive producer of reality television show Love and Hip Hop, and she also has done hair and makeup for her very own sister. Excellent. Sister entertainment reporter, journalist Barely Lee, for many of her on-camera appearances. So welcome again, Ms. Deborah Bailey.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to talk to you today about just the journey. When I read your bio, I also saw that it stated that you started doing hair and cosmetology around 2008.
Right.
2008. And it stated that you went into this career path because you were looking for a new job and a new opportunity.
Right,
So
exactly.
can you explain that process for us?
Right. Okay, so that was my late 30s.
Okay.
So, and at that time in my life, I was still kind of trying to find myself. I really hadn't found my purpose in life. And I had a rough childhood. I grew up in a new community, and I was raised and born to two parents that were hooked on heroin and exposed to the elements in the 70s of the 7th Avenue projects in Barringer High School. So growing up in that type of atmosphere and not having the love and the support of the family because they were ill, you know, suffering from their addictions. Me and my sister, were, we got into like the whole system of the foster care, and then my grandmother came in, and when my parents reached a point of their addiction where they can no longer provide for us. So when she came and took over and started caring for us, she was from the South, and she had no further than a 6th grade education. She was from Georgia, and she came, to New Jersey, to have a better life, and but she was a very loving, caring woman, but she didn't realize that the abuse and everything that me and my sister went through, that we needed therapy, or some type of treatment, like from doctors. She thought by putting us into church and praying that that would heal us, and being that we were young, we would kind of forget but the scars were already there. So when I think about '08 was around a time when I got very sick and I came down. My lung had collapsed one day. I was going to work, and and it was sort of like an epiphany.
Okay.
It's like when they say, when people used to talk about like how when they had a near-death experience, how their life flashed before them. And that was true for me, and that happened for me. I never understood that because I never had that experience, but that had happened to me. And when my life flashed before me, I saw nothing but darkness and pain. And I asked God when I was in the hospital for over 30 days, and they didn't know what was wrong with me. And I just remember praying and saying, God, if you would heal me, I promise, that I would try to make my life more meaningful and do something and find my purpose, So that being said, as soon as after I recovered and I was out of a job, I got laid off, the recession came in, Obama was coming in, running for president and everything. So I did, my high school friend, she had a hair salon, and I loved, hair and fashion, always had an interest in it, but just never knew I could do any of that. I never was encouraged, I never, no one never, they didn't even care when we were growing up as children. My parents were so ill that they didn't even care if I went to school that next day, So it was like, if you can imagine how growing up in that type of environment could be to a young child, especially a girl who's been exposed to a lot of abuse, sexual, emotional, and stuff like that. So at that point in my life, I really didn't know what my purpose was or what I was going to do, but I knew that I had a greater purpose. So anyway, I said, someone said to me, what is it that you like? What are you going to do with your life? So that's when I decided, I don't know. And then I needed a job at the time, and I reached out to my friend, and she was like, oh, I was looking for someone to run my salon because I'm married and have young children. And she said, but, and when I started working weekends, as a receptionist and everything, and started really getting into, what they were actually doing, I was like, wow, this is me. This is what I should be doing, And she said, you should go to school and get your license because you're going to have a license to run the salon, So I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. So I did that. And so while in school, I was running the salon during the day and going to school at night. And so one of the teachers, said to me, she said, Deborah, there's something about you and that I see you doing, bigger things than just working at a salon. And I said, really? I said, well, how do you see that? How do you know that? She said, I don't know. It's just something about your energy. You should be doing, different things. So maybe you need to figure that out. Like, think out the box. I was like, all right. She said, you get this book by Crystal Wright, and it will really give you a good insight about the industry and what to do and, and how to network yourself and how to put yourself out there. And so as I was reading Googling people that were in the industry and had made it, into the limelight, being behind the scenes or wherever, doing hair for a major celebrity or anything. I was like, well, wow, how did they do it? So I kept reading, and I was reading her book, and she had an agency, and she talked about the industry and how it was, the good, bad, and the ugly. And so what I did, I said, so while I'm in school, they teach you, and they say, while you're in school, they teach you the professional way of doing things. And it's totally the opposite of when you get out there in the real world. You learn your own techniques. I mean, you do follow the guidelines of professionalism, but then you add your own creativity and your own, what you have to bring. Every artist, has something different and something, unique about them, know. So I knew I had that, but how do I get noticed? So what I did was I just started Googling everyone all the magazines that I knew of, like that dealt with hair and fashion and magazines. So I started from the top. I said I'll start from the top and work my way down. Then I know where I stand and where I need to grow. So I just started Googling editors and publishers of magazines and people. Started sending samples of my work, and it was just regular average work that I was just doing either on a mannequin or maybe someone who just came into the school just to get a hairdo or whatever. And so people reached out to me. John Blasting came for one, who gave me my first opportunity, and Nikki Fowler from Glitter Magazine, who owns Glitter Magazine for girls girls who rocks. She's gonna kill me, but she has a teen magazine that's doing very well.
Okay.
And so she reached out to me, and John reached out to me, and so they asked me, and I to come either on a photo shoot that they were having, or in John's case, it was a hype hair show.
Okay.
And so that's where I had my first taste of like being behind the scenes and doing hair and stuff for the show. And at that moment when I did that show for John, I was like, this is what I should be doing. It was me, and I felt great doing it, and I loved it. And I went to him and I said, John, I love it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
And I said, and how can I get in that magazine? And he goes, that's all you had to do was ask. Wow. And so he was like, the photo shoot, he gave me the time and date. He said, you be there, you do the hair for the magazine, and there you go. Wow. And that's how it all began. And then as soon as I started learning about social media and Facebook and Instagram, I just started, just posting things that I've been doing, and people started, looking and recognizing, like, wow, because people were, reaching out to me and saying, wow, I've been in the business 10 years, 15 years. I never had any editorial work. How did you do it? And you're still in school, because I just got licensed in 2013, actually. And a lot of people didn't know that.
Wow, so you just was licensed. What I'm hearing from you, and I enjoy what I'm hearing from you, is that you're living your life with purpose.
Right, exactly.
And I like the fact that you're talking about something that you're passionate about. It's not just a career, but you have a passion behind it.
Right.
And with your passion, it allows you to go forth and now seek other opportunities. And now people are seeking you to give them advice how you were able to land into an editorial magazine. And this was something that you was just starting out and trying to figure out if you would even like it.
Right, exactly. It wasn't no plan. And what it was I just changed my way of thinking.
Wow.
Right. I started
Elaborate on that.
Yeah. When The Secret came out and the laws of attraction, and when I was trying to figure who I was and what my purpose was, because I believe everyone, God had, I do believe in God, but I'm more spiritual than religious.
Okay.
My grandmother wouldn't love to hear that, but I was raised in a Christian Baptist church. I mean, she killed us with that. But as I gotten older and learned to have a personal relationship with God, it became a spiritual thing for me.
Okay.
So when The Secret came out, Laws of Attraction, and it teaches you the way you think and the way how you feel, about yourself will manifest your life and what it is to be. So without no plan and no intention, or even thinking that this could be some big career for me, that was never the intent. It was just something just to change my life for, and and to find happiness. What was the bottom line for me. And then the amazing thing that was happening was people were reaching and feeling, I guess, that positive energy and reaching out to me and was interested in knowing how was I doing this,
right,
without knowing anyone, for one. Never having been in the industry, still in school, as a matter of fact. So I was kind of pissing a lot of people off, and I was coming on set, and it was just so funny because I was like, coming home crying to my sister one day, and she goes, "What's wrong? I thought you liked this." She's like, "But," I was like, "People don't get it. They don't feel I'm deserving because I haven't paid my dues. I'm new. I'm still in school. I'm not even licensed yet. My skill level is still in the beginning. They've been doing it for 10 and 15 years, and they didn't feel like I was deserving of the editorial work that I was receiving." And I was trying to explain, like, look, I'm not trying, I'm just here for the opportunity. I love to meet new artists, and I love to collaborate with people and learn from different artists, And so what you'll find in this industry, and everyone who's experienced the entertainment industry, there is an ugly side to it. You know what I mean? There is a glamorous side, but there is the ugly side.
The cutthroat side.
Yeah, the cutthroat side. I don't know what it is about why people feel I think it has just to do with the way they feel about themselves.
Okay.
Because if a newbie comes in, and if you're strong enough and you know who you are as an artist, and if they're bad enough to take your job, then they deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if you're good at what you do and you know what you're doing, you're going to hold on to whatever's meant for you, to have for you. So you don't have to worry about no one else. You know what I'm saying? But see, a lot of people don't know to think like that. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So that's where the ugliness comes in. But, as I learned about the industry, I learned to embrace all of that and just learn that's just how some people are. They don't know any different. And when they start to change the way they think and the way they feel about themselves, then their lives will change. And they won't have to worry about anyone else. And that's just basically how I became this far, this soon.
Okay.
That seems so amazing to a lot of people.
But it seems amazing, but like you saying, that you're walking in your purpose, you're walking in your passion.
Right.
So it may seem amazing to others, but you know that this is what you have been destined to do.
Right.
And so although other people may look and see and wonder how you are going so far so fast, and they have many more years under their belt, it's because you are destined to do this. You're destined to move in the industry, and you're destined to create. And when people look at your masterpieces, your artistry with the hair, different designs, and the cosmetology as a whole, they're looking at something different, and it may attract their eyes. So with that being said, when I was looking at some of the hairstyles that you were doing, I wanted to ask, what makes you create a certain hair piece or hairstyle when you at a photo shoot? Like, what inspiration do you receive?
Right. Okay, what they do was normally when you're called to do on a photo shoot, the publisher or whoever the director of the photo shoot will send you either the pictures of the models, and they will say the theme of it. Okay. All right. So basically, you have to do your own homework, and and sometimes they don't even send you that. You're just surprised at the day of the set, and you have to sometimes work magic. And let me tell you, and that's what I was explaining to him. What goes on behind the scenes is a lot of work, and it takes sometimes hours. It could take from anywhere from 2 to 10 hours to set up for a photo shoot, and it only takes them a half an hour maybe to shoot it. Wow. So it would be very interesting if we could see a good show on what people do behind the scenes to prepare these celebrities for these shows, for these photo shoots, what goes on behind the scenes of making a magazine, and everything that we have to do, how we have to come together and collaborate, how we clash, how we argue, the drama. But then at the end of the day, we come out with a beautiful cover for the magazine and a beautiful shoot, and then everybody is happy. So that's the goal, eventually. But behind the scenes is very interesting because you have different creative minds all coming together, and everybody's putting their own input, and everybody, work is going to be in this magazine or maybe seen on TV, and they're trying to, do their best. So it's a lot of pressure. It is. Okay. It's there's a lot of competition. And only thing that I could say to people that want to get into this business, and I'll be 46 Saturday.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I'll be 46 Saturday.
Well, happy pre-birthday.
Thank you, thank you. And people say, you didn't feel like you was just too old, or I'm like, what? I was like, listen, this wasn't a plan. It was just something that I felt like I just needed to do, just to find my happiness, just to find something that made me happy, that I felt doing. And all these other doors that's opening, I think it's just because of the way I've changed my life and the way I'm thinking, and people are receiving my positivity. Right. So, because I say at the end of the day, you can be the greatest at what you do, but if you're not likable, if you're not easy to work with, people are not going to want to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? Right. They'd rather deal with a new person and come along, but has potential, but has the greatest personality, a good working relationship, could take critique, can listen, you know what I'm saying, could fall in and join in and teamwork and add to and enjoy working with others and respect others. That's what people look for when they look for a team of people to work with. So that's why I say to people, and I met some really very very good artistic people that's very good at what they do as far as hair and makeup. But only the thing that I see that some of them, where their downfall was, that they had that chip on their shoulder.
Okay.
They knew that they were the best. They were scared. They didn't feel like they were so good that they didn't want to ask for work. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know what I mean? They felt like they should be asked to do the work.
Right.
But sometimes, if nothing ventured, nothing gained. And when I would look at a job opportunity, or if an opportunity opened up where someone was in a room, or an editor or publisher of a magazine, or even a producer of a show, and then that's something that I wanted to someone I needed to meet or connect with, I would just go up to them. I didn't let the fear of me still being in school, not being that experienced, hold me back for making that introduction.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's what people remember.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That girl, that nice girl that came and approached me, you know what? She seems like she's eager. Let's give her a chance. And that's basically all it is. And people think it's, oh, you must have knew somebody must have hooked you up. And I'm like, no, it didn't happen like that. It might happen that way for some people, but for me, it didn't.
Well, it happened the way that you present yourself.
Right.
The character plays a big role, like you were saying,
Right.
your character, your demeanor, your attitude.
Right.
And then you didn't have any fear. You can look at someone and say, okay, I'm interested in being part of their magazine or their photo shoot, and I'm just going to go over and ask them a question. Well, other people may sit back and say, I'm not going to do that, I'm too nervous, but you went forth and said, I have nothing to lose.
Right.
So,
Only thing you can say is no.
all they can say is no. Or they can just give me the opportunity, and I'll take the opportunity and I'll learn some more.
Right,
But if I
exactly.
never ask, I will never get the opportunity.
Right, exactly.
So that the goal with you is like, what I think is to tell people today is like, if you want something, you have to be able to ask the questions and go after it.
Right.
Don't be nervous. Don't be fearful. But
Right.
pursue it anyway, because that's how the doors are going to open for you.
Right, exactly. Because if they do say no, that's okay.
That's right.
That's okay, because one door closes, another one will open and give you an opportunity. So never let that fear of someone rejecting you, let that stop you from doing anything you want to do in life. Because if you let that happen, you won't go full circle on really who you're supposed to be,
Right.
because you let that fear get in your way. So I'm just saying, as up and coming and struggling as an artist, I know I'm not the best. I still have a lot to learn. I'm new to everything. But what it is that I'm loving everything that I'm doing. I'm so positive about it. I love working with people, love meeting new people. And I think my personality and what I have to bring this far has got me to the place that I am now. And so I'm basically, that's all I can say and explain it. And whatever happens from here is really no plan. It's just what my path is going to take me, and I'm just going to follow that journey and see where I end up.
That was really deep. Really good.
Thank
That's really
you.
good. So when people look at your hair, your styling, your makeup, what's your signature piece that people see? Like, what distinguishes you from other artists?
I've been told it's been the animation. I'm more, I think people kind of lock me into more of a high fashion, more like, yeah, more high fashion, because I worked with the teen magazine. That was fun, and I was, that was good and everything, but it was, kiddie-like, and we had to keep it clean cut. But I like risque. I like trying to go places that maybe have, everything has been done before in fashion. Everything just comes back around.
Right.
You kind of just add your own twist on it. So I think I'm more in a category of high fashion, high risque.
Okay.
Just going for it. Just being very creative and not having that fear of being who you are. And if that's different from everyone else, then that's what it is. And don't be scared of that.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, don't be that. I think that's mainly, and that has been one of my issues growing up was fear. You know, the low self-esteem, not thinking I was able to do something, and I think that held me back for so many years. And had I learned that younger, if someone would have kind of took me under their wing and taught me how to think that way about myself, I sit back and I think, wow, what my life really could have been.
Right.
But you know, it made me who I am today. And so I have no regrets. Only thing I could do now is look forward to my future, and that's just being happy.
Well, I think your future is going to be very bright, based on everything that you said. And it was a pleasure today interviewing you. I learned so much just in general. I thought that the process of just learning about hairstyling and cosmetology, but what you taught today was just about living your life with purpose and destiny and passion and pursuing your dream despite the fears and going forward. It doesn't matter what your background may have been or what struggles you have. Once you find the niche in you, and once you begin to love who you are, then you begin to pursue what you enjoy and what you love. So in closing, in the next 45 seconds, I want you to look into the camera and just give us some closing remarks of anything that we could have missed or anything you would like to say to inspire more people to pursue their passion and their purpose.
Yeah, that's interesting. I definitely, looking back at my life and everything, all the abuse and all the things that I've been through, I think it was meant for me to go through that. I think that God has a plan for everyone, you know. And I used to always question him, and why me? Why, you know, why am I going through this pain and all this and abuse and all that? But, you know, I stopped asking why, and I started trusting in him, and now I understand. You know, it was meant for me because I was able to go through it.
Yes.
And you know what I'm saying? So it brought me to be who I am today. You know what I'm saying? No matter what that is. And that's what people, you know, everyone has a different definition of success.
Yes.
And I believe that success for me is happiness. You know, we're truly success. You know, society teaches us, oh, money, the big house. But, you know, when it's all said and done, when you can sit back and you have nothing but yourself and you can be absolutely happy, that's success.
That's success.
And I want to tell anyone out there that's going through something, that has these, you know, maybe been through something that's very traumatic emotionally, physically, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? I think everyone, you know, has some type of issues that they have dealt with, or some family members have dealt with. I think that what you do, you take from that, as you learn, you know, it make you stronger. Try to understand it. You know, don't question him. You know, just trust in him. Okay. Try to move forward and be a stronger person. And then just find your happiness and find your purpose. And then everything else will just fall in place.
Well, thank you again. And we appreciate you. And thank you for being on the Carden One-on-One show.
And thanks for having me. It was very nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you as well. Okay, everyone. So stay tuned to next week, where you'll have a new episode and a new host. But it's been a pleasure. Take care.
Say